Welcome back. I've just wrote a few notes here on my little book. This is going to be a little bit messy, but I'll try my best to explain what's going on. So as you notice on my last video, I sold our house. We sold it for just over $500,000, which is a lot of money. We sold it at a good time because the housing market was really good, and now it's kind of slowed down a little bit, so our timing was pretty much spot on. Anyway, I have retired, so I haven't worked for about, what is it now, almost middle of the year. So I haven't worked for like 4 months now. Yeah, and my wife hasn't worked for almost 3 months, so we're both retired. I got to a point where I just don't want to work anymore. So that means, like, you know, I'm going mowing lawns, mow a few lawns here and there. Then once I get that money, I go shopping, and then all my money's gone just because everything costs so much. Yeah, and also I was getting sunburn and all that kind of thing. So I'm not really complaining about my life, but I'm just thinking, oh, there must be a better way. Anyway, I'm just going to get here's a pen. So I'm just going to cross out what I say. So we are planning. So I'm retired. So at the moment, pretty free. All our mortgage has been paid for. We've cancelled most of our things like insurance. We've sold most of our cars and motorbikes. Everything that relates to transport, we've sold. And basically, I am got to a point where I just want to escape the rat race. So, yeah. Okay, so a lot of people go to Australia because they've got more work opportunity, they get paid more, cost of living is a little bit less. And I was thinking of, you know, going to Australia, but the thing is, I don't want to go and work again. I just want to go and retire. The thought of me moving out of the country is from a few trips that we've done. We've been to India, we've been to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam. We've been to America, we've been to Fiji. Every time I go somewhere and I come back to New Zealand, I always think, wow, New Zealand costs a lot to live in. I'm just curious of what it would be like to go and live somewhere else. So this was something in the making for a few years, and I've kind of, you know, got to a point where, right, it's a good time now to make a few changes. So I've been in New Zealand for 31 years. Came here when I was 7 years old. Yeah, been here for quite a long time. Pretty much grew up here. Now, the reason why I wanted to move out of New Zealand is that I was thinking further ahead. So we were looking at the house price. The house that we just sold, I think in 1994, it got sold for $35,000. A few years later, it got sold for $85,000. Another year later, $180,000. We brought it in 2014, I think it was. I can't remember, but around about there. We brought it for 220,000, and now we've sold it for 549, and that's over $500,000. So I was thinking, well, how is my kid gonna be able to afford their own house if I don't help them? And that was my number one reason for moving out, because we can go to somewhere that's cheaper to live, and the kids can buy their own houses. It's crazy to think that we're living in a place where a lot of people can't afford to buy their own home. So I thought, let's move out now and get settled in a place, and when the kids work, they can actually afford to buy their house without us helping them. So we are going to go to Thailand, and the reason why we go to Thailand is that my wife is Thai and she's got family there. I'm not a Thai citizen there, so I need to sort out a visa. The kids need to sort out a visa. So I'm not going back home to Thailand. I'm just going to Thailand, but I'm an expat there. I need to learn their language. I need to get used to their culture again and all those things. So it's not like I'm going home. I'm just going to Thailand. But yeah. Another reason is my wife. Her grandmom is very old. She's getting quite old. She's probably just a couple years away from, passing away. So we're just going to spend those years over there. Right. So, yeah, I think I like the saying, we're here for a good time, not a long time, because when we go to Thailand, we're going to it's like having another life, It's like starting all over again, and that excites me quite a lot. So yeah, here for a good time, not a long time. Now, a lot of people say the grass is greener on the other side, and then you've got that saying, well, it depends where you water that grass. And I'll tell you what, when we go to Thailand, we're bringing a lot of water to Thailand, which means we're bringing a lot of money to Thailand. So when we go to Thailand, right now, I get minimum wage. I live in an average house. The house is leaning. It looks ugly. Well, for me, it doesn't look that great, but it's an okay house, but it's not a glamorous house, It's not like a house in Rototuna or those kind of house. So when we go to Thailand, we're bringing a lot of money over, and we're going to be one of the wealthiest family. Not saying we're top wealthy, but we're going to be pretty well off. So we're bringing enough money to, buy a house, not just one house, but 2 houses, 3 houses, depending on price, depending how glamorous we want the house. So we want to buy more than 1 houses. So yeah, and those houses will be all mortgage free. It's just going to be paid in cash, paid in full, and there's going to be no mortgage, no loan on it. Let me just cross off a few things as I go along. The good thing about buying the houses over there is once you own it, it's yours. We don't have to pay any rates. At the moment, every 3 months we're paying over $500 for rates in New Zealand. So in my town in Hamilton, even though our houses isn't worth much, we're paying, you know, every 3 months we get a bill, pay this rate. This rate goes to transport, goes to water, goes to parks and all those things that they say. But over there, you don't have to pay any rates. Once you've got the house, it's yours. The government won't bother you. Unlike here, they want everything from you. So there's no rate to pay for. When I go over there, I don't need to work, because when we sold our house, we took a little bit. We took half of what we made. Once we paid the mortgage, we took half of what we made, and we have invested it into real estate. So at the moment, while I'm not working, I am still getting an income from a real estate that I put money in towards. So when I go over there, transfer New Zealand dollars into Thai baht, you know, just a couple of $100 per week over here won't do too much. A couple of $100 over there will pay for everything that we need, so I don't need to work. The idea, when I was in New Zealand, the idea of getting, you know, a 30-year mortgage, working for 30 years, I just can't. That just blows my mind. I really can't do that, you know. It's like working 30 years just to pay for a house. It's just ridiculous. So yeah. So when I go over there, I'm just going to do what I like. I don't care what the Thai locals do. I don't care what other foreigners that live over there do. I just do what I want. If there's a job that I like, or a job that I see, if there's a business that I might be like, oh yeah, this town needs this, I'm going to open up a factory. Or okay, this farmer needs a tractor, I'll buy this tractor, and then they can barter me for rice for my tractor labor. And so I'll just work with what I want to work. I'm not going there to work for somebody or a company. I'm just going to do what I want to do. So that's, you know, we'll still look at another source of income. The other thing is the kids can afford to buy a house. Townhouses over there, they start from 30,000 New Zealand dollars. And they're not bad houses. They're just, you know, they're just a normal townhouse. So kids can afford a house when they grow up. The living costs, petrol there, it's like $1 cheaper over there than over here. And also the petrol, they mix it so that it's biodegradable. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but there's a different grade of petrol so that they don't use the most expensive petrol. So over there it might still be, last time I checked, it was still $1.50, $1.60, $1.70 per litre, compared to over New Zealand now it's $3 per litre. So I'm going to pay a lot cheaper for petrol. Food there, really cheap, $1 or $2 is a meal for a family, or $5, you know, $5 to $8 can provide a whole meal for the family. So food, petrol, everything is cheap. For example, I used to own 2 motorbikes in New Zealand. Each motorbike cost me over $500 for the registration. Over there, it will just only cost me $30 per year for the registration. So you can see the big difference in living costs already. So the power over there, the petrol, food, just the cost of living in general is just going to be cheap. And that's all going to be covered by our real estate asset. How long have I been filming for? Anyway, I don't want to do it too long, but I might have to do this in 2 parts. But yeah, I did quit my acting job. It was getting way too hard for me to travel to Auckland. I used to work up in Auckland doing filming for TV commercials and TV program, movies. But you know, the price of petrol went up. I have to get a COVID test every 48 hours. If there's someone that had COVID there's a stand down period for 5 days. It was, you know, and then there's road closure, there's traffic. It was just one thing after another, and it was just a mission to get to Auckland. And I just got to a point where I just had enough. And also I've been trying so hard to get a lead role, and the industry is a little bit racist because, you know, that's how it is. I'm not blaming it for being racist. It's like I can't sell you a McDonald's burger, you know, but I could sell you a BMW, for example. It's just, you know, just whatever the ad is, they want the lead role for that. So I couldn't find. I've been doing it for 3 years, over 3 years, and I haven't had a good lead role that put my foot in the door to be a successful actor or in that area. So I have given up that. I also tried to become a police officer. I applied to become a police officer. I went through the stages. The only thing that failed me was the psychometric test. It's like an IQ test. Not that I'm dumb, but it's more like a academic test, like, you know, maths test, problem solving puzzle thing. I failed in that, and I was pretty disappointed in that because it kind of, yeah, I'm not getting into that, but yeah, I tried my best to upgrade my income by, you know, trying to get into acting and get into the police. But yeah, I'm going to turn this off just so I can check how much I've been talking to, because I know you're all busy. I know you've got something to do. I'll be back. Well, it looks like I've been talking for over 15 minutes so far, so I'll do another part 2 of this because it's just dragging on. But yeah, so in summary, we're going to Thailand. We're leaving in about 3 more weeks, depending on when I post this video. Got 3 more weeks in New Zealand left. So catch me on my next video for me to, you know, explain this a little bit better.